Let me get set up here. All right, got a phone plugged in. Network set up. Good. All right. Sorry, I didn't have my chat up yet. Chat's up. So it was a little interesting yesterday after I made that spelling fix for the skin to sync thing. The PR. I actually pulled that in right away. Surprised. Whereas some of the other small changes have been kind of approved, but just pending, and I don't know what their process is. So let's see, what are we gonna do today? Yesterday we were doing a bunch of that's right, a bunch of stuff here. I wanted to make I stick a little tag up. Tag. Found it. Okay, good. Wanted to play around with features and feature toggles. Basically, all the Jaeger stuff I do not want to run in the test builds. Technically, it wouldn't matter, would it? For the test, it wouldn't matter because I just used library. Right. Huh. What happens right now if I run this without Jaeger running? Close Jaeger. There. Stopped. Back. I guess I would probably want to see the log items if Jaeger's not running. And in that case, it's more of an environment variable thing. Okay. So let's undo some of that. should be actually the same thing, but let's see. Now let's fire up Jaeger again. Start on localhost. There we go. Jaeger also, I was looking at it, has a storage engine that it can use of its own. It uses Badger. It's kind of neat. Oh, I forgot to set up the browser. Let me do that real quick. It's gonna go black screen. Gonna fix that. Gotta click a couple buttons. There we go. Yeah. How many things are open? Where's Badger? Here's Badger. It also has Badger. It's kind of cool. Written and go. 3.5 times faster than the RocksDB when doing random reads. Yada yada. So. That's cool. I think I want to do that. I want to see how that actually changes things here. We're going to try that. Toss that on there. Is there anything else I need to do? This is for the Docker stuff. I almost said Dogger. What are their command line arguments for this? Client libraries, deployment. Well, we know that it's ephemeral. Toss a help on there. Huh. All right. Interesting. I wonder how we set up Badger stuff. I didn't see that in there. Oh, hold on. Wrong place at the moment. There we go. And it's documentation. We're looking at help. Oh, let's see what env does. Storage type. Interesting. Maximum number of processors. That's cool. Metrics backend. Yeah. That's neat. Okay. So you can just use environment variables instead. That's cool. Storage string type, yada yada. Span storage type. Following configurations are the only available via environment variables. So if we set that, Badger, and then we say Badger ephemeral false. Okay, that works. Start the server again. If we then look at the browser and make sure that everything's in there. Well, that's not today. Refresh. Find traces. Oh, there we go. Tick's gone. Okay. We have data in there. Let's check and see if it stored that stuff on disk. Oh, let's close the game server. Okay. Close Badger down. I don't know what the right way to close Badger is. There we go. Well, that died. Just did a Control C on it. I wonder where it stores the Badger stuff. Does help change? I didn't see Badger in here before. Oh, there is stuff. Oh, this is cool. Look, you can store it for like, say, an hour only. Directory key path to store the key indexes. Directory values. Oh, it's going to store it there? Why there? Seems like a silly place to put it. Okay, let's correct that. Data values. Keys. Equals dot slash data keys. Five minutes, fine. $72. Actually, 72 hours isn't bad. Just be explicit here. All right. Let's start up. Come back into Badger, do a little reload. Okay. That should have data. I'll hit cancel. Did it create data? Oh, it did. fda.data. There we go. Okay, hey, that looks nice. Okay. We're going to remove that directory. There we go. Save that. My notes. There we go. I'm glad they have their own little storage engine instead of having to like install like Elasticache or whatever, Elasticsearch, Cassandra, etc. So Continue. It's multiplexer. Yeah, here we are. One thing that, let's see, we should probably do is have some sort of function available that can say whether or not to use Jaeger or not. Because what I'd like to do is, when the server's running, let me just show you. When the server's running, some of the Jaeger stuff is actually clumped in a way that I don't want it to be clumped. I like the tick stuff, have its own little bucket, but it's not as noisy. So if we do that, then run the game, it's Godot, there it is. All right, run the game, put that in there. And go here. Can hit reload, so get server in there. Okay, let's rename server to like legacy or something else. To find information, we should have the tick in there. Okay. There are lots of little things in here for the tick. What we don't see is like the stream stuff. We should also see a stream auth in here. For whatever reason, stream auth isn't in there at the moment. This stream character. We can see that when somebody chose their character, we're to go through and do this, which is awesome, right? Like, I love the tracing stuff. I'm so glad I've gone to using tracing. I like that it shows how long things were taking. That is just amazing to me. I don't know exactly what the perf benefit or like penalty is going to be on the game server itself, but I think there's ways to trace using only like a sampling. So I should be able to get like 1/10 of all the data in here instead of like all the data. That is really neat. Okay. What does bother me right now is that, okay, first server, let's go change that from server to legacy. No, I could care less. Auth. We have run auth, but we don't have auth stream. Where's auth stream? Should be in there. Oh, what do I call it? Stream auth. Okay, this span should exist in there. For whatever reason, it doesn't. I know the data should be there because, well, we log in. In the current span, okay, how else do we do these elements in here? One for a stream character that we just looked at. Looks like it's set up the same way. What's different? Trace span, span enter, trace span enter. This one's for Game Master, and it's the same as well. I mean, other than this warning, I mean, that couldn't be it, having some warning. That seems silly. What about up here? There's something I did or didn't do. Oh, this is info. Are they all info? They all are info. And that can't be it. Either that or it's getting clumped in something else. Like what is something that we should see in there? Stream auth, let's see. Received data. I don't even know how to search this stuff here. Let's see if we can find that. Operation tags. Base ID. Hmm. Yeah, it'd be nice if I could filter on stream ID. That would be awesome. Be really cool. Hmm. I wonder if I could do that. Also span on there, or have the span at the very top of this include stream ID. Make the rest of this available. Then I could do something like stream ID equals 1 and operation all. That would be amazing if I could do that. Tags. No. That would be really, really neat. Let's see if we can make that work. Stream off. I think we can provide it data here. Let's see. Fields and attributes are set using the same syntax as span macro. Hmm. Can we go to the span macro? Just use the span macro let foo equals tracing span, whatever. Oh, syntax accepted by this. Okay, let's go look at the docs on that. Use local documentation. It's awesome. Okay, so it's the same as this. Morning, Lime Day. Oh yeah. We can do this here. I think that's what we want to do for these. Yeah, doing all right. Work's kind of crazy. See how that goes. This is my not so stressed time of the day. Man, if this works, that'd be awesome. Basically trace somebody back to a stream ID and just follow that whole stream ID through the server. My goodness. I mean, it's even following them by their network connection ID is even better than following them by their account ID or actor ID. Because this would be everything. Run that again. Oh. Why'd I go with CBOR? I started with message pack. And one of the reasons that I'm using these sort of like small format protocol things is because I want to be able to fit a lot of data inside of a single TCP packet. And CBOR instead of message pack had to do with the implementation of message pack in Rust. So if we look at message pack, what was it? It was a Saturday message pack. No? Anyhow, basically whichever one it was, RMP Saturday, I think it's this one. I was having an issue where UUIDs were not getting encoded as their kind of binary data. They were getting encoded as like strings, so they were huge. So I switched to CBOR, which had the correct sort of implementation of that. I mean, now that I've gotten better at Rust, I could probably go in and make a PR for fixing that over here. But yeah, they were encoding like instead of just some numeric value, because what a UUID is 128-bit, right? Which is like 16 bytes. So instead of just passing 16 bytes, like 4, 8, 12, 16, instead of 16 bytes, like literally 16 bytes, they were passing like the full value, which is like the, well, you are. And the problem actually had to do with RMP Saturday, and there's basically a way, because what is it? If you use the display value or the debug value, there's actually different ways to encode things using Saturday. And there's a flag that RMP Saturday was ignoring, because you could actually specify in Saturday somehow, I forget exactly what the situation was, but you could express that you want this in a small format as opposed to something that's human readable. So they were ignoring that flag, and I ended up switching away from it because of it. But I wonder if they've actually fixed it. I forget what the keyword is, but nested options break. Yeah, I'd have to dig in through there. That's basically what it was. Oh, is human readable? It's this. This is why I switched away from message pack. So there's the issue. So let's go back. We were, let's see, over here. A little refresh, still got a server. Why is that one not showing up in there? That is bizarre. Oh, I left the tag in there, but it worked anyway. Oh, look at that. Awesome. Yeah, I think the auth stuff is getting clobbered in this. They're auth in here? They collapse everything. Wow, there's so many tick elements in here. I am impressed that it can display all of this. I do find it neat that, yeah. I do find it neat that it could, find that stuff. That is cool. I'm also surprised that it only found one. This number increasing, 25771. Oh, it is. Yeah, we should probably fix that. This thing shouldn't be just some giant bucket. Alright, however, let's get rid of the stream thing. I'll fix two things. Tick bucket. A stream character, found 3 streams. Interesting, why would it do that? I still want to try like comparing them too. That could be cool. Try logging in again. Absolutely might have forgotten to log in. Ooh, Oraniwa is on a Arctic biome island. Okay. Let's say I wanted to debug that login. I'm gonna find all the traces. Oh. A few seconds ago. Stream ID 2. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Go back and search for tags. Stream ID equals 2. That's just amazing. Trace without root span. This is the Game Master stream, that's fine. GM tick. Here's login. Oh no, that's where it sets up login. Strange. Strange that it's kind of clumping them together like this. I think it has to do with this root span stuff. Let's see if we can figure that out. I want to get back to making zoning working. I do like that addition of the tag there. Yeah. It's finding it, but these things are just collecting it. Huh. Trace without root span. Okay. These should have root spans. I do think that's a good idea. Start server. We do have this span here. I wonder if it's actually saying, what was it? There was a root span in here, maybe? That doesn't seem like it makes sense. Or maybe it's because we don't instrument this. Concurrent span. And we don't have a root span here. So span enter there. We'll live at the end of the scope. Fine. So one thing that would be nice is if we could know that basically that we've gone one way or the other here. Let's create a boolean pub function I want to know basically whether or not we're using the telemetry host. Has SJ has what telemetry? Something like that. Nothing too hard about that. Okay, I'll just return if that's okay. Oh, interesting, it didn't shut down. Strange. Oh good, I still have that buffer. Okay. Does Jaeger help me debug networking for my game? A little bit. It'll at least show me if things are coming in out of order or in a way that I don't expect, because it is going to show basically all the packets. Sorry, I missed that question earlier. I think Jaeger also supports sampling, so I wouldn't need to, or rather there's a way to set up the sampling here. Where was that? Oh, in here. I think this provider here lets you set up some sort of sampling. So instead of the default sampler, you can set up a sampler that only collects like 10% of the data, or I think you could even build one yourself. So one thing that I would like to do here is create a different subscriber. So this element, just want to have 2 of them. Yeah, this is the first time I'm using it as well. I just want something better than just logging. And tracing gives a lot of options, because it's basically that structured data like that, where while we don't want everything in one trace like this, being able to see how like elements are connected and say search on stream ID 2, we should be able to get something that's not in that gigantic umbrella thing. Umbrella span. This one. So this is what tracing gives me with Jaeger. I can see, okay, they came in through here and they went in this direction instead of the other branch in the server. And maybe there was some sort of logic or decision that had to be made. I'd be able to debug it based on kind of the flow and the log entries. You even see the message was and the data attached to the log item here. It could. Yes, I do think that I could use it for that, but it would be hard to kind of pull that information out. Like I would be able to pull all of the events generated by a single network client, like this. So this here, I filtered it based on the stream ID here. So, and in basically, I created stream multiplexer. So we have a couple different streams coming out of this. Imagine just like 1,000 connections, right? And you have 50 that are going through auth, 50 going through character selection, and the other 900 are in the game, right? So I'd have 3 channels, one for auth, one for character selection, and one for the game. So given those classes of connections, I would have 3 streams of data coming in. I'd be able to have back pressure independent of each other. So each of those classes of connections and those 3 streams would basically have 3 different kind of natural back pressure setups. But inside of those, stream ID 2 would have gone through each one of those. Would have gone through auth, would have gone through character selection, and here it's in the game master. And I could follow it through all of those and see every event that it triggered in the game server. which I think is pretty darn powerful. If I didn't have this stuff like this, trace room without span. So I would really like to figure that out. I'm not exactly sure why one is inside of that and the other is not. Like, where's the character one? Character one should have been in here. I'm not sure how these things are getting associated like that. So in run game master, come through here. Where's the tick? Oh, here's the tick. Now the tick here, I do not want it part of current current tracing. I want it to have its own span. So it should have its own span inside of here, but it's getting associated with the outer span. I don't want that. I'm not sure how that happened. Current span, yes. I mean, these should just be in the span that they're in, which is technically this one. So how do I keep those from ending up in the outer span? And here, trace, skip self. Spawn here should be independent of the others. If we go to the end of this, it looks independent. It's fine. These elements here should probably be in their own span as well. Let's toss some of that in here. Linked add. There's also layers. They have this interesting thing here. If we go back to this, we have three different layers. We have Jaeger, setting up Jaeger. Then we have what Jaeger supports, which is open tracing. Is this one. You can get a tracer and bind that up with the open telemetry stuff. I wonder if I shouldn't have like a default one. I wonder what a layer really is. And here they call it a tracer. Open telemetry layer with tracer. With the open telemetry tracer that this layer will use to produce and track spans. Yeah, this looks like my code. I copied it. Set global default. Perhaps we make this just some other function that says like tracing pipeline.get layer or something like that. And then we could wrap each one of these up. Oh shoot, you're in the browser. Sorry, this here is what I'm looking at. What is this registry? It says tracing subscriber registry. Block-free shared slab and is highly optimized for concurrent access. Wow. Okay. Actually, I wanted to see where it existed. So tracing subscriber registry. So maybe we make new ones of those. We have different ones for these different areas. What can I do with a subscriber? Returning a layered structure that implements subscriber. And what do I do with that? Subscriber composed of subscriber. Wow. Oh, I see. I can create a new span with it. Oh. So I can basically create those top level spans that I'm looking for in different layers. One for, say, the tick, one for auth, and et cetera, et cetera. Interesting. What is an ID there? So much faster locally. Okay, let's see. I do like the idea of having these things, having something that can generate this stuff. So a default one, fine. We'll call it legacy. But then I also need a way to do what do I want here? Provider, do I need a way to get the default provider? Do I just need the last two elements here? Because with a subscriber, I can create a span. But in order to do any of these, I'm going to need the rest of this. Rat. Oh, we see browser. Yes. I'm just so enveloped in this today. I'm making mistakes with the task switching. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do. Basically, I want to get one of these, right? But I'm not going to be able to set this thing up over and over and over again. It would be a little odd to have n number of connections. Should probably have the same one. Actually, do you think it matters? Let's say I had 4 connections or 5 connections. Hmm. Well, I wonder if there's something else off of tracing subscriber that would let us do this. That's a global one. I mean, basically all I'm trying to do is disconnect those elements from kind of the global thing, the global what am I trying to say? Basically from the root element with no span, trace without root span. Yeah, okay, good, good, good. Close a span? Oh, interesting. Okay. So maybe we don't have span at the very, very top then. Okay, going back to the code. The problem then, problem then is probably because we have these spans at the very top that we don't need. We go to server main, but this one doesn't ever end. Basically, the server shuts down by the time that one ends. Get rid of that and that span. See, start forge. Might have one in there, that's fine. But basically, I want to make sure that all this runs through. It's okay. Oh, it'll reach down here. Fine. Now if we hit this, do we start instrumenting here? This function should run to the end, yes. So this span's probably okay. Let's try building that. See if those issues go away. Hmm. A lot of ticks in there, isn't it? Start that up. There it goes. Restart the client. Do our login. Here we go. ID. I wonder, do I start with 0 or 1? See there, it's still there. Admittedly, it has fewer things in it. I don't know why it chooses sometimes to have the tick in it and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, wait, this isn't that. There we go. Yeah, this one has a tick in it. I see. So basically I have a root span surrounding the tick that never ends? Somehow? Okay, let's look over there. We'll work our way back up from that. Gonna be in Game Master. Start tick should complete. That function itself should complete. This should run actually quite frequently. Okay. Tracing here. This span should complete. Oh, does run game master ever complete? No, it should. It runs to the end. Now it looks like the bug that they were saying is we just have like a default span or something? Is that because of this is just a subscriber, it's not a default span. Okay. Oh, this is started in current span, which technically doesn't exist. So basically it has to get to this point, this select. This is where we wait for Control C to shut down the server. Which means that legacy run does go all the way through. And we could move that, but I don't think that's going to help. Let's see, they mentioned the JSON there. Look at the JSON for that. Oh wow, that is kind of pretty. Oh, there are a lot of spans. References, tags warning. Child of trace ID such and such. And that is this one. Huh. This is kind of neat. Just being able to see the data kind of in raw format. Huh. I thought I removed that. Oh, this is incoming message. Well, if this, okay, so if it is the child of such and such, what is this one? This one get created. I mean, that trace has data in it, but it just has spans. It doesn't have anything else. It just has a trace ID ref. Okay, and the next one? And basically the same thing. Okay, so what is a trace? We have a tracer. Let's pretend that we're going to do something more interesting here. Say init layer. And we can actually return a subscriber here, not set the default. But before we go down that road, server, spiner, messages. That's pretty good. All right. It's compiling over there, so I just don't want to butcher it too bad here. We're not going to set the default. We will use the default registry, I guess. Don't know why we wouldn't do that. Okay, we'll return that. Thank you. Okay, so we need layered open telemetry layer of tracer with registry. Maybe. We need some of these. Okay. The first one appears to be part of tracing subscriber. It's there though. All right, now we need tracer. That's an open telemetry tracer. Interesting. Okay, we are not going to init the tracing pipeline here. I wonder if we can have different kinds of tracing active at the same time. Yeah, I'm not going to do that today. Just going to take that. Where do we actually need that? Oh, and this one doesn't return one. See, this is the other case. This is like the default one. Like, oh, we just have some default global subscriber. Let's put that back in main. That can go over here. And then we'll set our special ones elsewhere. Let actually, what happens if instead of that, just go grab the default subscriber again. Go back. Okay, sure, we'll set this one as the default, but then in here, if we don't have that environment variable, we'll just, oh, but the types are going to be different. Okay, so in this case, let's say we do return a subscriber, libscriber, a subscriber. Oh, I need a match here. Oh, that's right. Where does that actually come from? Let's back up a little bit. There it is. Okay, redo. Let's go back to main. Let's toss this in main as well. Write everything. There it is. Okay, so that's not going to work. Is this a trait? Struct. What are we really returning here? Layered return is a what? Layered great implementations is a subscriber. Well, I never box stuff up, so I'm not sure. Now let's see. All right, safety net in case I butcher it. something that impulse subscriber. Now we need those other elements. Yeah. Subscriber is actually from increasing subscriber. I forgot to save that file. Okay. Now pipeline mod. And what is it? 35? No. $49. If we box that, there we go. Okay, yep, that's not used yet. Will be used soon. Oh, and name's not used. That's a good error. Name. No. Oh. Oh. What does this want? It doesn't know what that is. Okay. Get tracer. Get tracer. I think it's this one. Huh. Okay. What if we change this to owned? Oh, I got that backwards, didn't I? It's the ampersand on the left with the lifetime. We'll just push that requirement up and out. Okay, now we just have that this isn't used. Let's go use that. So now we have a boxed subscriber. Go to, let's say, auth. And we want in server lib run auth. There we go. So inside of this, we want a new span. Technically in here, but we don't want one all, like, we don't want to request one all the time though. It might be expensive to set up and shut down. We create it out here, so the subscriber, and then inside we can create the spans. Oh, what is my way of managing unused imports? Rust Analyzer will do quite a bit of that for me. So if I just go to the line and do a quick fix, it'll strip the elements out of the kind of combined import. And that's kind of nice. So let's say I had one. So here this is going to be unused, expect. And if I just quick fix on the line, it gets rid of it. Being a little slow at the moment. Let's try again. Quick fix and it's gone. Then I save, just let the formatter deal with the spaces. What's this? Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly manual for me as well. I have to go to the line, have to do stuff. But I find it just keeps things a little cleaner. Subscriber equals, what did I call that? Tracing subscriber. Is that what I called it? No, that's not what I called it. Tracing pipeline. And what we'll call this? Auth subscriber. Okay, that should get moved in here. Oh, this is in lib. Urgh. Okay, let's move tracing pipeline. Server source bin tracing pipeline to server source bin. Oh wait, I don't do it quite like that. Mod source. Tracing pipeline to RS. That should work. Okay, now in here, we're in lib. Funny. Let's set a marker there. MA. Go to the top. You know what this is? Just going to be pub mod that. So we're going to need to use that inside of the binary. Oh, not implemented. Interesting. Why does it care here? Is it moving between awaits? I mean, I could put it in inside of a arc. User cannot be sent in thread safely. Oh, yes. Okay. And this is because future is not send. This value is used across and await. That's it. Used across and await. It's because this spawned task has a couple different awaits in it. And basically, I can solve this problem either by moving this allocation outside of where it is, say out here. Okay, now it's not actually going to be used in there, not moved across awaits, it's just unused at the moment. When you see that error message, it's because this task can actually be moved across threads. One thread can pick it up and do the first half of it because there's an await, and then later a second thread comes back and picks up the latter half of it. And because this is not send, I can't do that. I can't go between them. Let's see if we can just move that all the way in. Because we're going to move it here. I don't think this is going to work, but I want to try it anyways. What did it have? It had let's go look at this provider. I have it here. There's a subscriber. Oh, you can enter a no, you can enter a span. You create a new span with attributes. And then you enter it. And I wonder, will this be enough to say that all of the tracing that's done inside of this actually comes back to this kind of tracer? Or the other one's going to be using the global one? And if I have something like this, does this use the current one in the stack or the global one? Which one does this actually use? This will be obvious in a moment. New span, and that we need to give arguments. So let's span that. What is, oh, attributes. Attributes. Oh, interesting, browser. Take a look at this. You can actually specify whether or not this is a root span or not. That is nice. We could create a new root with values. All right, where is this? Tracing span attributes. Okay, back to the code. Wait, no, we want a new root. And a new root takes metadata and a value set. Tracing metadata. Goodness. Oh, that has a whole bunch of stuff on it. Check this out. Name, target. Level. Alright, it would be nice if there was a bit more of a macro for this. Event or span macro, metadata. Okay. Module path, fields, field set, kind. Wow. I wonder what kind is. Oh, whether or not it's a span or an event. Okay. Okay, throughout this whole thing, I think the most interesting bit to me is the new root on the attributes. That, I think, is very, very nice. What does tracing core have in terms of macros? Identify call site and metadata. Oh, look at that. Fine. Okay, we'll do that. Tracing. What is this one? We want it to be stream auth, module path, trace. But level's not there yet. Metadata and unit so far. Subscriber new span. I think it's enter, and then we give it the span back. Something like that. You know, we could also give stuff here. Wonder what it really wants for fields. Are they using like key value pairs or what? What does this mean? again. Okay, we're creating a new root with metadata. Field is a field set. Names of the fields. Oh, wait, the names of the fields. I was describing the spanner of the event. I see. So a field set has fields. It looks like it's just a bunch of strings. I guess makes sense. All right, so basically we need to create guessing this is going to be like to get the equivalent stream ID from down here. Be stream ID equals, then we give it actual data here. Let's bump this up here. Just gonna use format. Or we do that out here. Yeah, okay, so in this case, let's do this out here. I hope that doesn't need to be static. That would. It does need to be static. I think that's. Huh. Yeah, no. Something's off. I don't get something here. Let's go back to the browser. So the field set got the metadata here. Oh, the value set is separate from the metadata. Seriously? Okay. Is there a macro for value sets? How do you create value sets? So here we have field set. These are the names of them. Here's the value set. Okay. Go back. So this is not correct. I am a bit glad that that's not correct. It does mean that here we say stream ID. Go call site, yeah. Do I have to give it a call site? I don't think I have to. It's an option. Actually, call site. Where is call site? Call site. My call site. Call site seems to be that it wants like the line number and location information. I technically don't really feel like giving it to it. So we might not use the macro. But I think I'm starting to understand this a little bit better. You can do things like register call sites and stuff like that. Wow, that is really optimized. Okay, so we need metadata. Name, target, tracing, metadata. Let's just pull new on it. New. Okay, it first wants the name, the stream auth, target, module path, sure. Level, trace, file, and line. Those are both options. I'm going to give it none for those. Actually, is there a nice macro for that in standard lib? Oh, there is. Some file to that. And standard line. Looks like it does the line number. Okay. Fields. Now this one gets a little interesting. We need a field set. Oh my goodness, the fields actually want a call site identifier. Field set wants an identifier. And that starts to make a little bit more sense now. The reason why the other element didn't want file and line, but it wanted call site. Oh man. Okay, so we might undo some of that. Oh, where are we? Tracing. I don't know, I wanted tracing core or something? Because their macros aren't the same here. Those are just the default ones. I want the other one. The tracing subscriber macros? No, they don't have macros here. Not that. Here we go. Identify call site.
What's your name, pretty boy?
Okay, but what is a call site? Very implemented by call sites.
What's your name, pretty boy?
These functions are only intended to be called by the registry, which directly handle determining the common interest between all subscribers. Interesting. Okay. So registry then.
What's your name, pretty boy?
How do I get? How do I get call site stuff?
What's your name, pretty boy?
Ah. It's call site. So we're trying to construct metadata. That's really what we want.
What's your name, pretty boy? I'm not gonna lie to you.
See, they got this stuff here. This is a little bit of a cop out in the example here.
I have expectations.
This isn't all that helpful at the moment. This a foo call site. What does that even mean?
I'm not your girl. I'm not the one you're looking for.
Identify call site.
What's your name?
And this is what we need
What's your
for
name?
building the other elements up.
What's your name?
Okay,
What's your name?
let's take a moment and see if there's another entry into this. Well, let's back up a little bit. Basically, we want to span. Okay, I gotta change the track. Flirtatious by Canis. So, we want to enter a new span. That's the goal. Basically this. But we want to use different subscriber here. Expression, parent. Here they're creating macros for this. Looks like it's just a wrapper around the span macro. Debug span. Yep, also. And this one. It would be nice if I could provide basically the element that I wanted to use here. This is calling create span. Okay, go back to the browser and see if we can find that. Missing span. Okay, here's that macro we were just looking at. It says, see the top level documentation. Sure. Using the macros. Alright, so here we have subscribers. As spans and events occur, they are recorded and aggregated by implementations of the subscriber trait. We're notified when an event takes place, the span is entered or exited. with the notifications, okay. How do we use this without the macros? No, not there. Importing fields, fine. Shorthand macros for log users, yada yada. Go and create, okay, in executables, set global default. I don't want a global default. In addition, the default subscriber can be set through using with default function. Okay. Oh, look at this. We can do it this way. That will work. Oh, that'll do it. Okay. We found it. Okay. Back out that code. All that goes away. Do this. Run this in the closure. Need to give it the subscriber though. And then our function. And that's not an async function. Oh my goodness. This isn't going to be async, is it? Okay, yeah, we can toss that into arc, but then this down here, that's not going to be happy. What does with default actually do? Calls create dispatcher with default. Set global default, set default, rat. I wonder, does in the future doesn't implement FN once, right? It just doesn't happen. All right, let's go back to the browser. Tracing futures. Let's see what this crate, if this crate has something. With subscriber allows tracing subscriber to be attached to a future sync or other executor. Okay. That's nice. So basically I just pull this in to scope instead of doing what I'm doing. All right, let's try that. Instead of with default on that, yeah, let's drop that off of there. An async block dot with subscriber. to wait. Okay, that I think should do it. We're still gonna have the sync issue. That, and it probably doesn't know that rate exists. Yeah. Oh. Missing futures. Okay. Really? Oh, there it is, with subscriber. Oh, come on, come back. Oh, shoot. In the browser. All right. So this is basically what I changed here. I added an async block with subscriber and an await around this. Now, still going to be a little grumpy in that subscriber here is not, it's not what? Oh, consider borrowing. Okay, will do. And it can't be sent safely between threads. Got it. Okay, is that it? Because I think I can solve that problem. Good. Oh, we added sync, we didn't add send. That'd be mutex, but we could use a Tokyo IO mutex. Where is mutex in Tokyo? Okay. Tokyo mutex. Tokyo sync mutex. Fine. There we go. There's our mutex. Which means that down here we actually have to change. Let's add. That's just not going to work. Yeah, it's not implemented. We actually have to change that. 165. Huh. All right. You know what? It just dawned on me that subscriber here. I don't know if these elements here, these actual subscribers, are send or sync, etc. But we could say that's one of the requirements here. Deal with the issue in here. That's strange. Why? I mean, if these are now send and sync, that should work. Could need mutex, etc. if they're send and sync. Also, I should be able to get rid of that as it doesn't exist anymore. But this with subscriber, what does it want? So what do we do here? We need the box. We try to do it without the box. Problem then is the tracing for the tests would require this. Or we use feature flags for this. File the test with slightly different code. That might not be a bad idea. So if we strip this out, it's just something that impulls this, pull that. Then based on expected an item. Well, and how do we do the if config test bit again? Specifically, how do we do it for things that are not in that group? Say Rust G not test. Doc tests. Oh, interesting. How do we negate something? Not. TFG. Center config. Okay. Oh, you can do an else on if such and such, else that. Got it. Okay, that works. So in this case, if back to the code. There we go. TFG test. I think that's it, right? Test module. Yeah, CFG test. Okay, so if we're doing tests, then we do this, else we do this. Bump that in one, add that. Bump that out of there, go back up. Not gonna box it. Just use the regular sort of subscriber for that. Otherwise, this will become a bit more of a panic. Let telemetry host equal to that. Expect. And what is our example on this? All right. Okay, we're going to make this generic. I'm glad that still worked. Okay. Why does it still think that this is boxed? Server lib 165. Oh, because I've been working on the wrong buffer. That's why. This buffer got moved. Oh. Okay, we're going to delete that buffer. It is closed. See, it's supposed to be right there. That one. No, it's not supposed to be there anymore. Yeah. Let's do that again. Move that mod to there. And let's remove that directory. There we go. A little bit better. I found that scope. Fine. That's a good change. All right. Missing pipeline. There we go. Let's see. Where's... Yeah, that should just be tracing subscriber. Type inside async block must be known. Oh, interesting. Because it changes. It changes based on big type. Alright, can we move that any closer given... Yeah, it's part of that await. Got it. Hooter Jr., welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. That's unfortunate because I purposefully made this different depending on the type. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna bubble this out and provide a concrete type on this. Okay. All right, let's do that. This becomes over here somewhere. Let's wrap that in a pub function subscriber. Name. The name doesn't even matter, does it? Just underscore. Yeah, do one of those there. Oops. Yeah. And this will only be available for something that's test. Okay. If it's not test, that means this one might be dead. Dead code. Okay. We're going back to this one actually. Glad I kept that around. What am I missing? There's something that is angering the parser. I love the error messages in Rust. So nice. Ah. Okay, what is this one? This one is format subscriber. Interesting. I'm gonna give it the full path on this one. So let's just delete that, join the lines. That off there, put the T back. All fields. Okay, some of these elements though will move down. I don't know. There's gonna be this weird thing where this only exists for test code, etc. And my other sort of compiler thing, only going to want the elements that are there all the time. Oh, env is private. It's env filter. There. All right. What else do we got? Oh yes, you. Is it at that point? I don't remember. So, UV filter. Actually, get rid of that there. Just checking to see if any of those are re-exported up higher, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, tracer. Okay, where is tracer? Open telemetry tracer. Okay. Line 31. Okay. Use of value after move. Moved in the loop. Ah. That's interesting. Ah. That one's a reference to that one. Okay. Consider borrowing there. Yep, subscriber's not implemented for that. I get that. Okay. Let's move this out. Clone that. We have the subscriber here. Subscriber. As ref, like what do we have on atomic ref count that we could use? Let's go look. Hmm. Okay, that's neat. Oh, what's this? Try and wrap. Huh. That should technically be the case. But I'm wondering if really, what does it need? Can it just get a... Would AsRef work? Let's see. See, I don't know if with subscriber actually, like what it technically wants. I know it wants a subscriber. Is there a borrowing here? Okay. That seems weird. Huh. Let's just... Oh, interesting. I wonder if is subscriber clonable? I mean, can I just do that? I forgot to check on clone. Okay, let's keep going. Ah, drat. No clone on layered. Huh. Wonder why not. Alright, let's undo that. Okay. I don't know, this is an interesting puzzle. Oh, what was it? It was get. Also get me unchecked. That's unsafe and nightly though. Oh, it's an associated function, not a method. Got it. Got it. So in those cases, one of these, it wants a reference to that. All right, we're close. No, still not. Yeah, okay, I get that. Are we not returning a subscriber from that? Doesn't layered actually implement subscriber? Just double check. The trade subscriber is not implemented for that. It's not in standard lib. It does implement subscriber for what? Where S is subscriber and L the layer. Hmm. It could be the double borrow. Actually, I want to see if I can get rid of that one. Let's get the subscriber out of there. There should only be one. Whoa, I did that. Must have nailed one of the number keys when I did that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have the double borrow at that point. Let's not do the double. Required because the... At least we're not getting the sync thing. I think our other change, where we have it in atomic rough count, we get the mutable thing. This seems to be working. Okay, let's go see what with subscriber actually wants. Ah, you're in the browser again. Apologies. This here. Actually, what was this other thing? Layer with subscriber? No, okay, we want this one. Where S can be converted into a dispatch. Oh, well, that's different. Because what are we actually returning there? We are returning layered, tracing subscriber layer layered. I don't think it does dispatch though. Doesn't. Okay, where do we get dispatch from? Tracing dispatch. Oh, interesting. Tracing subscriber. Let's see its modules. Ooh, they got a lot of things in here. See, they have a layer. They've got a couple other things. A format layer. I think this is what we actually have. Okay, there's something I didn't see here. But this with subscriber into dispatch. I wonder how we get one of those. How do we get something that has dispatch? You can create one with a subscriber that's send, sync, and static. Okay. So our subscriber needs to be send, sync, and static. Is it not send, sync, and static? Because we should be able to convert into those, shouldn't we? They have a from S. Yes, they do. So we're missing one of these elements here. Okay. I think subscriber we got. Send and sync, not so sure. Static though. It should be outliving the current lifetime of whatever's going on, so that should be fine. I think it's static. That also means that we don't want the reference. It doesn't want to be borrowed. I actually want the subscriber, the actual one. Oh, we could do a try and wrap on that. Okay, let's do a try unwrap. That actually returns the inner value if there's exactly one strong reference. Oh, and no ref count there. Let's see. What? Oh, there we go. Okay, there's. Oh, no expect on results. I thought there was something like that on result. No? So result. Okay, option T. They just unwrap? Okay. There we go. Oh, to the code. So I moved that expect comment up here, tossed the unwrap on it. That should give us the inner value. Unwrap should exist on the result. Oh, the trait bounds weren't satisfied. Really? Oh, it has to be debug? Oh, you've got to be kidding. Well, no. All because that thing is not debug. Wow. Okay, let's revisit. What are we trying to do? We are trying to have this code execute with a certain subscriber. Now, it appears that I'm doing that. Well, so why am I doing it this way? I'm doing it this way because I think creating the subscriber is going to be expensive. One way I could avoid that would be to somehow just return some subscriber, and I'd probably want to keep a hold of whatever this provider is somewhere so that I could generate another tracer. Okay, so what if instead of this pattern, we created some sort of object like our telemetry, like our tracing pipeline object, and then we could ask it for tracers kind of willy-nilly. And if we do that, we might be able to also, what is this? Get tracer, how expensive is that? Provider is coming from SDK provider. Oh, definition's not found. Why not? Where's SDK? Interesting. So I think this stuff is going to be expensive. This stuff down here, I hope, is less expensive. Guess I could also just keep them in a hash map or something, some sort of small map. Because if we did this inside of the loop, it'd be happening on every packet, every tick. Okay, let's at least get this part set up. Yeah, we'll see if we still need that up there. We'll come back to the test code thing later. Tracing pipeline. What do we want to call this? Pipeline? What are we going to have inside of it? Pipeline. Yeah. /AC. And default constructor 3. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Okay. So in there, we're going to have these elements. Just save that for a moment. Oh, that shouldn't be in self. There we go. Yeah, that's not bad. Then these elements here, we'll have to have some other function. Just call it subscriber. Flip that out. Public function, yes. Public function, new. Okay. Looks like it's already imported. Uh-oh, what are we missing? Was that a trait? Okay, so those two tracing. Oh. Go back one. Those two elements are actually different. I'm getting rid of that. Remove this. Toss that down there. Something, whatever. Open telemetry. Oh, this is SDK provider as opposed to API provider, which is the trait. I wonder if OpenTelemetry has a better export on that. Doesn't look like it. All right, that's fine. So we create a new one of those, and then we have this. Cool. Server lib. All right. This is subscriber. No, let's call this. Missing pipeline. New. There. Let's see, stream auth. That not public. It's probably not public. Okay. Oh wow, that worked. Okay, and if we move this out here, it's going to complain because it's being consumed on every iteration of the loop. Just borrow it. No, it has to be a subscriber. Okay. Oh, shoot. Why don't we invert this? Oh my goodness. Look at this. Watch this. Put this on the outside. Oh, I feel like such a dunce. Wow. Okay. Not bad. Okay, but is there another way to set the... Oh, forget it. That's gonna work? Seems like there is something to be desired with this whole with subscriber bit there. Okay, let's go fix main. Yep, tracing pipeline's not there anymore. And that's just a default. But if that works, that means that we could basically get new routes for all of these different elements. Oh, I wonder if that's actually in the wrong spot still. Those routes are going to be... I don't know, we'll see what it does. I think I'm considering it wrong. Okay. All right. Clean up some of those. Just closing some files. Okay. That's better. Well, if that works, let's go back to server lib. Let's go do the same thing for the other ones. What did we do though? I think we changed any of that. No. Looking at the gutter markers on the left. Strange. You know both C++ and JavaScript very well? How does async work in Rust? Good question. I just reloaded my browser for the chat, so if there was a question before that, I didn't see it. But for that question with the C++ and JavaScript, does async work in Rust? So imagine JavaScript's async, but it's all done at compile time, and there's no overhead cost at runtime. It basically builds out a state machine and just works through it. So when I call await on something, that's just this part of the state machine is able to just not be processed until some event is actually triggered, some sort of IO is triggered. Oh, it did it again. Strange. That's probably not the best answer for how does it work. But in Rust, the core libraries do not implement anything for the async runtimes. You're actually free to build out your own async runtime or use one that's off the shelf. I'm actually using one off the shelf. It's called Tokyo. There's another one called, I think it's async standard. STD, I think that's the other one. The one I'm using is Tokyo. So they both have their own runtimes. They implement basically the runtime that State Machine builds. There's kind of a cool set of books on this. So here, if we go to, this is the standard library documentation. We look at future here. Future is in the standard library. If you look at the documentation for that, they have some neat stuff here, but then they also, towards the bottom, where did it go? Runtime characteristics, yada yada. Or maybe it's in the module level. No? I thought I remembered seeing something, a little bit more info on this. Huh. The documentation online might actually be better than my local documentation in this case. Oh, but this is the documentation for the crates. Anyhow, there's even a futures book, so you can learn how to do async await, and it even goes through and implements a small runtime. I think that's on the default book. So Rust Lang, just to show you how to find it. Go here and we click on Learn. None of those. We want the core documentation for the standard library. I'll look at futures. Also, does Rust compiler allow you to generate position-independent assembly and force constants and strings to be packed up as moves to stack instead of put in R data? That I'm not sure. I know that you can do quite a bit in Rust, especially unsafe Rust. I'm not versed at all in unsafe Rust, and that seems like it's actually going to be in that area. Actually, the putting strings on the stack instead of R data might actually be just more of a compiler flag. And the position independent assembly is probably also a compiler flag. Rust is really just built on top of LLVM. So if those are LLVM options, I believe they would also work in Rust, or they may be exposed through Rust as well. Okay, so we are going to hop down to the next one. A couple more loops here. It's async. Toss that in. Oh, you're welcome, and welcome to the stream. Sometimes there's other people here that might actually know answers to those questions a little bit better. I don't know, Museum, if you're following along, but those might be up your alley. So this one is I did not mean to copy that down. Interesting. I should not have done that. That should still go inside. There we go. All stream gets pinned. That gets pinned. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you have to. I think if you're doing anything like that, you basically have to put it inside of an unsafe block. And I forget. I really don't know what um, the block would be. Like, I don't know what would have to go around here, but it's definitely got to be inside of an unsafe block. Okay, those are compiling. Let's see if we can build and run it. There we go. Okay, let's get the game fired up. You want to learn it? What if the compiled output is bloated garbage, you're not touching it? Yeah, it depends on what your needs are. I know people are using it for embedded stuff. I have IDA Pro. I'm using, you mean for my editor? Oh, IDA. You mean like an inspector to examine the output? You can probably play around with was it Godbolt? Stuff like this. Disassembler. It doesn't fit well on my screen because I've basically got this resized to like an 80p. But yeah. And depending on the optimization levels, you probably want to look at the different optimization levels that they have. Because some things, and yeah, they got nightly up here too. But I'm guessing that you're more interested in size, not speed, because Rust will monomorphize calls if you're using generics and stuff. So that's definitely going to bloat it. But do I know how to make an IR optimizer? No, not for LLVM, not for anything really. I mean, I understand what an intermediate representation is. Um, that's above me at this point. I did a long time ago. I bought the what is it, the compiler book, the well, the Dragon book, of course, but then also the what is it, the red one with the whale that's basically not quilted, it's woven. It's from the Alaskan tribe. I forget what it is, but I remember this book. It's got this cool thing on it, and they talk about making optimizers and how to do optimizers for different patterns and et cetera, et cetera. But it was a fun read, but I never went anywhere with it. And it was an expensive book. It was like 120 bucks. Okay. So here we are. We're in this. I'm going to pull up the game. Log in. Oh. Deadlock? No way. Where? That is awesome. Look at that. Okay, where did that happen? Okay. Cargo, cargo, cargo. Your VPS runs a JS node server? You mean like serving things in Rust versus serving things in Node? I think Rust would have less of an overhead and it would probably do things quicker. But it really depends on what you're using Node to glue together. If you're using it to do database stuff or other things. Want concurrent people? Probably. Red local, futures. Wow, where's my code? Okay, I didn't see my code. Where is it in here at all? Cargo, cargo, cargo. I mean, it just panics right away. Huh, strange. Oh, here's my code. See that before. Is there any more? No. Server source lib 251. 251. Oh, interesting. No, it shouldn't have done this twice. I wonder if it's the with subscriber that's causing it to bail. Read-write lock would result in a deadlock. That calls a future, pull with TLS context. Here we're in the spawn. Maybe we could use the spawn instead. I really don't understand why this would cause a panic like it's doing. If I just take those out, let's just comment those out for a moment. With subscriber. Okay, that should just work. We're not going to get cool stuff that we want from it, but we'll see if it panics. It's either the future, this async block being awaited that's going to panic, or it's the with subscriber. And if it's the with subscriber, then we have one other option, I think. Let me find it. While that's compiling the browser. No, that's it. It's just compatibility. Here we could instrument. Current span stealth. No, we don't want to do that. I think instrument is more likely. Interesting. So if it's a future executor, every future spawn of that will be instrumented and attached to the span. Okay. I want to see the source on that. Just returns instrumented, I see. And what was the other one? The other one was with subscriber. I think I definitely want to use the subscriber one. How they work, goodness. I don't know. I don't know well enough to be able to explain it. Huh. Just had a network blip. That's what stays together. So the other place we could do this is on. Can we do it on the spawn? What does spawn take? If we moved this out of there, we put this here and said, oh, let's call it task instead. Oh, it started running. Let's run the client again. See if it'll bail out. Log in. Okay, that seems to be working. Okay. Click, move around, and it's using the wrong subscriber, but that's expected. Oops. Let's do that towards the bottom. We do that here. With all right, we'll do one. Yeah, security is a mess, but it's getting better. In fact, I tend not to use cloud stuff. It's buttoned down and locked up pretty well. C++ Rust stuff. There. That's kind of a learning process in Rust. When you get into Rust, you'll probably want to create like some sort of binary, right? But the thing about Rust is, and it's compiled in the way that you can set it up, is that you can have binaries and libraries in the same crate. You can have one library and multiple binaries that use that. So I've got a workspace, I've got a bunch of different crates that are in my workspace, and I've got a couple different binaries in my workspace. If you're making just some little command line tool, something simple, then you probably don't need a workspace, but a single binary would do. Inside of there, you'll have some sort of source directory. Alongside that, probably tests, and that's where your integration tests go. Linked code, or excuse me, a unit testing code usually goes alongside the code that it's actually testing in Rust. I'm going to try to crash the server again. Log in. That worked. Auto naming for binaries. Do headers exist in Rust? No, they don't. Huh. Oh, that's cool. It'll produce a foo binary. Hey, Museum. Oh, and Museum, there was a question earlier I had no idea on. I'm going to bring it forward. I don't know if you know if this is possible. Looks like we can move around. Okay, let's stop that. Okay, let's do the same thing with the other one. Auth. Let's do character now. Expecting that once we get our second subscriber in place, that's where the issue is going to happen. We just make a slice wrapper that pins its address. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Just use a string which won't get constant folding. Okay. Alright, let's try logging in. Cargo build run. Wow, it's built. We're running it again. Log in. Oh, boom. Okay. I'll have to ask around and figure out what's going on there. Interesting. Let's see. Spot the code. Interesting. All right, y'all. Sadly, I'm going over time. Um, Stack Canary. Oh, that sounds neat. So tracing subscribers sharded. Ah, it's sharded. All over the place. Blew up. Stack. Stack blew. Alright. Well, I'm going to try to figure that out later. Interesting though, because just by having business tracing subscriber with, it appears that what I'm doing, let's see, where is it? Hold on, I know I'm kind of wavering back and forth between like actually stopping the stream and not. Man, this is just bugging me. Because here, we have one of these elements. I think what's happening is if I can find it. Oh, it's server lib. Server lib. Here. By having a second subscriber, it actually causes a read-write lock error. I'll try to reproduce this in a smaller setup and see if I can figure it out. Yeah, that's strange. Not too much is going on. Seems like it's meant for something like this. This task with subscriber. $349. Oh. Well, it didn't say that. Did something panic? Read-write lock would result in deadlock. Strange. Alright. I'll probably just see if I can reach out to somebody. This is odd. Alright, y'all. We're gonna get ready to raid someone. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like we're really gonna raid anybody today. Well, I typically don't raid Lana. That it looks like Jessica Mack is watching the news. But yeah, we're just gonna bail. All right, y'all. I'm gonna head out. So until next time. Bye bye.